All right, welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, Philadelphia Eagles minicamp winners and losers as mandatory minicamp wrapped up on Thursday. A new look at which players showed out and also who struggled during minicamp. The next time that the Eagles collectively are together as a team, not until the end of July for training camp, and that's really where things start to get underway because then you start to look ahead at the preseason, the regular season, and the Birds very well equipped with this roster to make a deep playoff run. Today's show is sponsored by Aron. If you're looking for some great new menswear that is really durable, is going to last for a long time, that'll have you looking good and feeling good, you get 20% off using the code CHATSPORTS at roan.com/chatsports. I'm wearing their commuter shirt right now. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of today's show. Minicamp winner number one, Eagles' new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. He's not new to minicamp, OTAs, taking a new gig, football in general. Vic Fangio is a football lifer, and his defense, they performed extraordinarily well throughout OTAs, but also during the 3 days of minicamp. And could we be seeing a drastic defensive turnaround? His defense really dominated Kellen Moore's offense all 3 days of this minicamp session, and he forced quarterback Jalen Hurts into a lot of tough looks. Hurts had to hold on to the football for a long time. He threw multiple interceptions and pass breakups, and really at all three levels. Vic Fangio's defense didn't operate as if they're trying to learn a new scheme. They were firing on all cylinders, not indecisive. They were flying around. Defensive line, the secondary, Devin White, all really dominating, and I think that's a really good sign as you look ahead. Yes, Chase, it's early in the offseason. I get it. It's minicamp, right? But the fact that the defense with the new coordinator looks this good this early, they were awful last year, historically bad. So any type of progress from what we saw in 2023, what our eyes were subjected to seeing, that's a win in my book. And I thought what Brandon Graham said on Wednesday was an honest admission about the defense and pretty telling. Not a good look for Sean Desai and a couple of the assistant coaches who he had hired. Here's what BG had to say about the defensive collapse. We didn't have all the right coaches in the right positions. He said that while talking about the progress of Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. He then continued by saying, you can just see the guys truly believing in what we've got going on. The city of Philadelphia loves good defensive football. This is great news here so far. And speaking of Devin White, I threw his name out there a couple of moments ago, and this is a player who, since the Eagles signed him and going into free agency, I looked at him as an affordable option at the linebacker spot, a player who you can buy in low at and then reap the dividends of all-pro caliber play because I've seen Devin White play great football. And now that he's not distracted by the contract extension, he's getting back to just playing football. You pair him up with the DC and Vic Fangio. I think that he could have a huge season this year. And he's been having himself a great spring. OTAs, minicamp. He performed well at OTAs when he had sticky coverage on a Saquon Barkley wheel route out of the backfield. And then during minicamp, flying around, making plays, both in pass coverage and in getting pressure and a sack on quarterback Jalen Hurts. Winner number three is wide receiver Parris Campbell, who the Eagles signed to a one-year deal in free agency. The former second-round pick is a speed option for the Birds at wide receiver 3, and why he's a minicamp winner. The wide receiver 3 battle that we've been talking a lot about on this show looks like it's Campbell's to lose, at least as of right now. He got almost every meaningful rep alongside A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Speed is not a problem for Parris Campbell. Him looking good in practice, not a problem because of that speed. Injuries are the issue. And he's been injured pretty much every single year of his career outside of 2022. So he's drafted in the second round by the Colts out of Ohio State, popped at the NFL Combine that year, and he played in 7 games, 3 starts. Following year, 2 games, 2 starts. After that, year 3, you're thinking, okay, injuries are behind him, 6 games, 3 starts. In 2022, 17 games, 16 starts. The production was okay, not second round worthy, but okay. And then last year, 12 games with the Giants, 3 starts. A healthy scratch, though, at the end of the year for a down bad wide receiver crew with the G-men. But when you're playing alongside A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley's on your team, maybe he can find his stride. Nick Sirianni seems to like him. Winner number 4 is offensive tackle, offensive guard, Mekhi Becton. He's a winner for a couple of reasons. He had a really good week during mandatory minicamp at the NovaCare Complex in South Philadelphia. Anytime you can leave the hapless New York Jets and join the Birds, that's a win in my book. He also got starting left guard reps all week because Landon Dickerson, the only player on this Eagles roster who was not there at mandatory minicamp, it was excused as far as the absence. And I think that Becton this year, he's going to play an important role as a swing offensive tackle who can come in for Jordan Mailata or Landon Dickerson if they go down. He could play both guard spots, and he said that he's really been taking advantage of the opportunity to play guard and giving him looks there. Look, he struggled at times playing tackle for the Jets. Maybe his future could be as an offensive guard along the interior. You know about the athlete. You know about the size. He's a mountain of a man. And he said today he came to Philadelphia because of Jeff Stoutland and the opportunity to learn from some of the offensive linemen on this team. He also said he loves Philadelphia. From the city to the fans, the team, the organization, he could see himself ending his career here. I think that's a little bit premature, but I'm excited about the prospects of him developing under the watch of Stoutland. Winner number 5, and we're not going to stop there, by the way. Second round pick Cooper DeJean, who the Birds traded up for at pick number 40. Cooper DeJean is a player who I love the selection of him. Going into the draft, I thought he was going to be taken in the first round. I looked at him as that Swiss Army knife on the defensive side of the football, player who you can kind of use everywhere. And that's exactly what the Eagles have been doing, as the rook is a winner. Eagles trying him on the outside at corner, inside at slot nickel. And throughout minicamp, multiple pass breakups, including a near one-handed interception on Jalen Hurts. DeJean was asked about dropping that football, and he said, CD Deuce, CJ Gardner-Johnson, not happy with me when I dropped that football. And then DeJean this week also got first-team reps. So the Eagles clearly like what they're seeing so far from the rookie second-rounder. Another Eagles minicamp winner, Big Dom. He got an upgrade in title, including game day coaching operations, which I think is a way for the Eagles to have him on the field at all times. And because he is the head of game day coaching operations, if something happened like it did last year against the Niners and Dre Greenlaw, when people are like, why is the security guard on the field? The Eagles can now say, game day coaching ops. And of course, he continues to be the head of security for the Eagles organization. Kenny Pickett had himself a big Thursday. He threw a bullet to the back of the end zone, threading the needle to Aniyah Smith. The officials who are officiating the practice said that Smith was out of bounds, a little bit of a debate at practice. Either way, it was a good throw. And then Kenny Pickett seems to really like to throw the back shoulder ball. He threw a good back shoulder ball with some touch and accuracy to Joseph Ngata. We're only getting started on the show because we have some surprise winners coming up here just around the corner. But which minicamp winner are you most excited about? Share your thoughts with us down below in the comment section. As I mentioned at the start of the show, today's Philadelphia Eagles Now is sponsored by Roan. If you're looking to enhance your wardrobe and get some more swagger in your step, look good, feel good, that's always the motto. Roan is your answer. You can also save on some great menswear by going to Roam.com/chatsports and use the code chatsports for 20% off your order. Summertime is here. If you're looking for some new golf polos and some golf shorts, Roan has you covered. If you're looking for a long sleeve dress shirt that you can wear casually like this underneath the suit or with some pants, Roan has you covered. Stretchable, flexible material is what they use, and they've perfected the wrinkle release technology where the more that you wear these shirts, the more that the wrinkles disappear. I also like the simplified color schemes, not crazy patterns or anything like that. So one more time, Rhone.com/chatsports. Use the code CHATSPORTS for 20% off your order. That link is hanging out down in the show notes, and it's attached to the pinned comment of today's Eagles Now. Let's spend a couple of moments talking about Kelee Ringo, the 4th-round pick in the 2023 draft. Good speed, 4.3 guy. He's very young. He's only 21 years old. And it's worth noting that he really balled out during mandatory minicamp. And then last week, week 2 of OTAs, he was getting the start at first-string corner and consistently made plays on the football, showed off some of that long speed. He also has a really good frame at the cornerback spot. He addressed the media this week and said that the game has really slowed down for me. There is less second guessing and more doing. I'm just kind of firing with my decision-making at the cornerback spot, and that can be the difference between a big play, a reception, an interception, a pass breakup. Kelee Ringo, stock up for him. And then we have to call Quinyon Mitchell a winner because on Thursday, he officially signed his contract. I believe he was the final rookie first-round pick to finally sign his contract. Adonai Mitchell with the Colts had to sign his, and then Quinyon Mitchell signed his shortly thereafter, after the conclusion of minicamp. Good for the Rook. Can't wait to see number 30 on the field. Now we shift gears to our Philadelphia Eagles minicamp losers. And Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, is going to be loser number 1. He did admit when speaking with the media on Thursday that about 95% of the offense right now, brand new under Kellen Moore. And here on the show, I have said, don't overly panic about Hurts struggling to start the spring because you have new concepts, new play calls, new terminology, new route trees, a whole new scheme. So it's really difficult to master that. And at OTAs and minicamp, you saw an offense that didn't find a rhythm, that was indecisive. And then you had Vic Fangio's defense, which was just kind of clicking. But Jalen Hurts put the ball in harm's way, and he threw multiple interceptions and near picks, and the offense lost every day of the 3 days of mandatory minicamp. And this is Jalen Hurts' offense. He would probably admit that he could have practiced a little bit better. Additionally, on Hurts, he got sacked a couple of times because he was holding on to the ball for far too long. Also, airmailed some deep balls that could have gone for some splash plays. In general, the offense was not crisp. That is a storyline that we will continue to monitor as we look ahead to training camp. Loser number 2, James Bradberry, the cornerback. The week started off in an intriguing way for Bradberry in his hopes of trying to earn playing time, maybe even trying to earn a roster spot for Philadelphia in 2024, considering all of the moves that Howie Roseman and the team have made at the cornerback spot. Started the week with Sirianni saying, yeah, he's going to get some safety nickel corner snaps. We want to put him there to see how he can play. And he exited the first practice on Tuesday at the start of practice, very early, and he pretty much missed all of mandatory minicamp, an abductor injury. So for James Bradberry, not able to learn the scheme, coming off a down year last year in which he was awful, and now looking ahead, what is his opportunity to make this team or to get playing time? Now, the James Bradberry contract, very interesting. If the Eagles were to cut him pre-June 1, obviously we're after that now, they would have had to have eaten $15.1 million in dead money. They would have saved $10.8 million. Didn't really make a lot of sense. Post-June 1 cut, $4.3 million in dead money, no dollars in cap savings. He does have a guaranteed option in 2024 of $9.64 million, and you can spread out some of that money if you cut him throughout the remainder of his contract. But again, Howie, Nick probably look at that 9.64 figure, and they're like, can we find a way to get him on the field at safety or nickel? The Eagles' cornerback situation, it's wild for a secondary that flat out sucked last year, and that includes the status of Bradberry, and the injury makes things a little bit more murky. Johnny Wilson, loser number 3. When Wilson was coming out of Florida State, and he did have a pre-draft visit with Philadelphia, he's, of course, an intriguing prospect because he stands at 6'7". He's the tallest wideout in the NFL. But what was the knock on Wilson at FSU? Massive size, but he played much smaller than that. He didn't insert his physicality. A sloppy route runner. He didn't utilize just that overall size to climb the ladder, go up and get it. And during Thursday's practice, out-muscled and boxed out in the red zone when he could have displayed that size to come down with the big touchdown by Andre Sam, who's probably not going to make this team. When you are that big, you got to be able to use your size to your advantage at the NFL level. If you're not, DBs are just going to feast on you. And it's kind of embarrassing because you look at a player who's so physically tantalizing and you're like, he plays small, he's soft. And we know what Steve Smith said about Johnny Wilson in the pre-draft process. It was not nice. Kenneth Gainwell, also a loser coming out of Eagles mandatory minicamp. He's still going to make the team. He's not in danger of getting cut. But on Wednesday, and we talked about this on the Wednesday night show, Will Shipley, the running back taken out of Clemson, targeted a bunch in the pass game, and he passed with flying colors. He impressed a lot of people with his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And I think that he can maybe see some snaps as a third down back because of that. But then Kenny Gainwell on Wednesday let a pass go right through his hands, feeling the pressure of Will Shipley getting some run. And then on Thursday, another drop went off his hands for Kenny Gainwell. Got to make the most of your opportunities. I get it early in the offseason, but got to perform when your number is called. And then minicamp loser number 5 is Will Grier, the quarterback, the West Virginia legend who spent time with Carolina, New England, Dallas, Chargers. He overlapped with Kellen Moore with the Chargers and with the Cowboys. He is the clear-cut QB4. You have Jalen Hurts QB1, Kenny Pickett QB2, Tanner McHugh had a good day of practice on Thursday as the QB3, and then Will Grier, quarterback 4. He did not take a single snap in team drills all week, so not going to make this team. He just kind of stood there alongside Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore clearly trusts him because I imagine he had some say in bringing in Will Grier in free agency to kind of be that extra camp arm. And they'll need him a little bit later on this offseason, but clearly not going to make this team. Who is your biggest winner? Who is your biggest loser? What say you? Those are my winners and losers here for our minicamp winners and losers segment. We'll catch you next time here on Eagles Now. Don't forget to subscribe.